and yeah, the languages, right? Good. Hi, and welcome. Welcome again for another ASMR session meant to relax you and to put you to sleep. But with a little bit of knowledge, of course. Well, now let's have a look over the language map of Europe, the language distribution map of Europe. And here we have all the languages, European languages and their main branches, how they are distributed over Europe. But the purpose of this video is to rank them, to rank the languages from melodic to misunderstood. And this is my ranking, my top, and it's very subjective, and it depends mostly on my personal taste, backgrounds, and maybe cultural context. However, I can offer a broad and culturally sensitive list based on how language I perceived in terms of melodic sound versus confusing ones, difficult for outsiders and very unfamiliar for outsiders like me. And yeah, on the left side I have all the languages and their main branches: Germanic languages, Slavic languages, Romance languages, Uralic and Celtic. This is the legend for the map. And I'm gonna start with the most melodic languages of Europe. So I'm gonna start with what I admire for their musicality and pleasing sound. And first, I'm gonna start with Italian. Often, not only by me, but by many others, Italian is called the most melodic language. Most melodic language in the world. Well, it's opera native language. Right. Second one is French language. French is a little bit soft, nasal, romantic and poetic, and romantic. I think it's one of the most romantic languages out there. Next one is Spanish. Well, Spanish, and here I include Spanish Castilian, is vibrant, rhythmic, like a fiesta. The Portuguese. Well, Portuguese is musical, in my opinion. Portuguese is musical, but more wistful, like fado music. Next language, which I considered melodic, is Irish Gaelic. Lyrical and haunting with rich musical traditions. Well, I not understand very much, but it sounds nice and melodic. As well as Catalan. Catalan language is a soft blend of Spanish and French tone. Is soft and it resembles very much with the Romanian language, because many Catalan words are shared with the Romanian words as well, are the same. Next one is in the melodic ones is Romanian, my mother tongue. Romanian. Romanian is a part of the Romance language, a Latin language when it's very melodic, but somehow has as well Slavic influences and Slavic undertones. So, Latin, melodic. I can include in this most melodic chapter the Greek language. Greek. Well, Greek has its own, it is in his own league, let's say, Greek language, and has a classical classical charm, with rising and falling intonation. Again, there is another language that can be included in the most melodic ones from across Europe. The Serbian and Croatian language. Serbian and Croatian. It is fluid and expressive, especially in songs. Alright, now these were the most melodic ones. Let's switch to chapter 2, which are neutral and balanced sounding languages. And here, they are not especially melodic in my opinion, but they are clear, logical, and familiar. Right. And the last chapters are the misunderstood or confusing languages, but we're gonna get there. So let's continue with the neutral languages, and first I'm gonna start, let's say, with the German language. German is often stereotyped as harsh, but precise. Yes, German is very poetic in literature. So this is a precise language, with composed words. So not so many neologisms or borrowed words from other languages. The next is the Dutch language. Dutch language has its charm, but is like the German one. Some say that Dutch language is an old German language. Dutch language is grating to others, but hard to others to understand, especially that are the non-Dutch speakers. English and British. English, the British branch. It is varied. I can say easy to understand, good pronunciations, smooth. But as well, some dialects are rougher, the Scottish and Irish dialects. Next one is the Norwegian. Norwegian is bouncy but considered by most a melodic language, especially in the Nordic countries. So we can say it's a melodic one for the Nordic countries. Swedish is a little bit softer, and some say that is musical with rising intonation. Some say perceived and learned compared to Norwegian. Danish, another Germanic language. Danish, well, Danish is muffled, heavy, and for the natives it is strange. No, for the native it is melodic, but strange for non-native speakers. Danish, Danish. Czech language, a Slavic language, yes, a Slavic language which is neutral, has a neutral tone, consistent and logical, like other Slavic languages. The Slovak language, it resembles very much the Czech language, but is even softer than the Czech language. Next one, Hungarian. Hungarian, which resembles very good with the Finnish language. We're gonna talk it later about Finnish language. Hungarian is unique, like Finnish language. They are both Uralic languages. The Hungarian language is puzzling, rhythmic, and puzzling, and for me is a very mysterious language. I grew up near many Hungarian families, and I heard them speaking daily, and I heard Hungarian words daily, but I couldn't understand or pronounce something. So for me, it's a mysterious language, and it's impossible to learn or to retain something. So, but this is my personal opinion. Polish language next, as a neutral language, is consonant heavy and fluidly, but is harder to understand, to be learned, in my opinion, than the Russian language, which resembles the most Polish. And now let's switch to chapter 3, which is the most misunderstood or difficult sounding languages, confusing ones. These languages are less accessible to outsiders due to the unusual phonetics and cadence. And first is Finnish. Finnish language is highly unique, with long words, and I can say it's like an alien language. Because it's unique. It resembles only with Hungarian. Next one is Estonian language, which is somehow related with the Finnish, the same tonality, but slightly softer, and is still confusing. Next one is the Basque. Euskara. Basque language is isolated and doesn't resemble anything. It's something unique, and it's very known only for the native speakers. Mysterious, ancient, very hard for the outsiders to learn. Good. Next one. The next is Icelandic. Icelandic is an archaic language. And sounds like Norse. Old Norse. Resembles somehow Norwegian. confusing is Albanian. Well, I heard someone speaking Albanian and it is unique. Yes, it has unique grammar and sound. And it is misunderstood, especially even in the Balkans, for some reasons. Okay, so next is Macedonian language. Macedonian language. Well, the Macedonian language is a Slavic one, as well like Bulgarian and Serbio-Croatian. But it has unique twists that confuse the learners. Good, sorry, next one is Lithuanian. Lithuanian is an ancient Indo-European language. Beautiful but very tough to learn. Latvian. Well, Latvian is something interconnected with Lithuanian, but with its own challenges and features. Both are very hard to learn. And next is the Armenian language. Armenian is a borderline European language. For us, it's exotic for most Europeans and sounds ancient. Ancient. Now, because we finished our list, let's have a look over how the languages are distributed in groups. We have first, I'm gonna zoom in, max. So we're gonna have first the Germanic languages, which are the group is composed by English, Germans, Swedish, Danish, Norwegian, Dutch, Frisian, Icelandic, Faroese, and Luxembourgish. I didn't hear about Faroese yet. This due to the fact that it's very restricted to the area. Faroese language. The Slavic language group is composed by Russian, Polish, Ukrainian, Czech, Belarusian, Slovak, Serbo-Croatian, Slovenian, Bulgarian, Macedonian, and Sorbian. I didn't heard about Sorbian. Is this related to the Serbian? Maybe. I don't know. You're gonna tell me if you know more details. The Romance languages, Latin ones, French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Catalan, Galician, Romansh, Furlan, Latin, Corsican, Sardinian, are Romanian and Romanian. Do not confuse Romansh with Romanian. Romanian is a clear Latin Romance language, and Romansh is a dialect. Good. Next, Uralic languages: Hungarian, Finnish, Estonian, Sami, Karelian. I didn't know about Karelian. It's from Karelia, Komi, and other Uralic languages. Celtic language: Welsh, Irish, Scottish Gaelic, Breton, and Monks. And Altaic languages, well, I forgot about Turkish to mention it. Altaic language, Turkish, the most prominent now one. Azeri, Gagauzian, Bashkir, and other. Baltic languages, Lithuanian and Latvian. Next are the unique languages: Maltese, Albanian, Greek, Basque, Kurdish, Georgian, Armenian, Ossetian, and Abkhazian. These are unique languages. And here, Greek qualifies the most. And Greek is one of the oldest languages spoken in Mediterranean area. Well, wow, this ASMR session sounds very subjective. It is subjective because it is my perspective. This is my list. How I can see, understand the other languages, European languages, with rhythm, tone, and it is deepened in the appreciation of its culture. And here is the most interesting fact is that Europe offers a diverse linguistic soundscape, and you should, and it's worth exploring each of these languages and dialects, at least just for fun or just for some exercises. Thank you very much for joining me today, and now feel free to use the comment section below and write down your opinion related to this topic. And I repeat, this was only my personal approach related to this topic. Until next time, I wish you all the best. Bye bye. Hi, and welcome again for another interesting ASMR historical lessons, let's say. And today we're gonna dive in the world of medieval castle design, shapes and structure to discover how the medieval castles from Europe evolved, how they varied in design, and based on their location and purpose. So stay close. Alright, so let's start. And first, we're gonna start with Moat and Bailey Castle. Moat and Bailey Castle, which was a structure mostly built between 10 and 12th century. 10 and 12th century. The structure was a wooden one, a wooden structure, a stone keep on a raised earth mound, stone keep, with an enclosed courtyard which is named Bailey, and the wooden keep raised. The purpose was a quick build offering basic defense. Did you know that the Windsor Castle originally was a moat and bailey before being upgraded? Well, let's enumerate the advantages. So the advantages was quick to build, elevated position, on the moat, provides good defensive advantages in all directions. and was effectively on new controlled lands. The disadvantage is because it was made most of wood structure were highly vulnerable to fire and decay, and could be easily destroyed by the siege weapons. The moat and bale castle. Now let's move to a more advanced structure. The stone keep castle. Well, the stone keep castle started to appear between 12th and 13th century, and the structure was a large one. A large structure with in square shape with stone towers, narrow walls and windows, and a central keep. A central keep. The purpose is that this design was more durable and defensible than wooden castle. The White Tower at the Tower of London. Now, the advantages and disadvantages. So, these are stronger. Difficult to breach with conventional weapons. So, provided better living conditions for lords and garrisons, but there are some disadvantages too. And one of the disadvantages is expensive to build. Expensive to build, and limited visibility to the small windows. Limited visibility to the small windows, like we can see here. Well, another disadvantage is that could be vulnerable to undermining. Undermining like attackers digging tunnels to collapse the walls or to intrude inside. So, the Stone Keep Castle. Good. Next. Let's move to the next one. Next shape. The concentric castle. Concentric castle. Right here. It was built mostly between 13th and 15th century. The structure had multiple layers of walls and was a much complex building than the Stone Keep castles. They had outer layer of walls and the inner layer of walls, making very difficult to be conquered by siege or invasion. And often they are built in a circular or polygonal shape. The purpose is to maximize defense. Maximize defense. And making sieges more difficult. Well, they have advantages and disadvantages too. Extremely strong defense due to multiple layers of wall. This is one of their advantages. Attackers had to breach several barriers before reaching the inner keep of the castle. So, very hard to conquer. Towers and gardens wall allowed for better field of fire. The disadvantages are very expensive, very expensive. To build required large amount of land resources. Well, they had a drawback, could be still starved out if surrounded by enemies' strong army. By an enemy strong army if surrounded, they could be sieged until they starved. So this was the concentric castle design. And now the next one. The next one is Shell Keep Castle. Shell Keep Castle. Well, it was mostly built, erected between 11th and 13th century. It has a circular or polygonal stone wall. Yeah, you may see, replacing the wooden palisade of a moat. The Shellkeep Castle was an upgraded moat and Bailey Castle. Provided stronger fortifications for while utilizing existing moat structures. One example is Restormal Castle in England. Advantages is durable compared to the Moat and Bailey Castle, so we can say this is durable, and yeah, this is upgrade. It utilizes the moat structure, saving construction time, so less expensive. Provided a good balance of defense and cost efficiency. Well, disadvantage is a small design, still smaller, so more prone to be fast conquered, and is less fortified than later castles. Very good for a provisional or a temporary castle, and it was vulnerable to artillery and siege. Vulnerable to artillery. Artillery or siege. And it lacks multiple layers of defense like concentric castles. Next in the list is quadrangular castle. Quadrangular castle. This is was started to be built between 14th and 15th century. The structure is a square or a rectangular courtyard enclosed by thick walls and towers at each corner. The purpose is this mostly were served as residences, and well, combining residences with a small fortresses, they were named small fortresses. So, fortress. Example: Bodiam Castle in England. Advantages. Well, due to the square shape or rectangular, has a few weaker points, so strong walls provided good defense against enemy attacks. It has spacious design inside, allowed for larger living areas and garrisons. One peculiar fact is that this design was mostly adopted in England and Nordic countries because it has an it was easily adaptable for both military and residential use. So, residential and military, or both. The disadvantages: weakness in designs, because if one side was breached, then mostly the castle was doomed. Required a strong foundations and careful planning, because it's a heavy one. Could be less defensible than concentric castles, so due to the lack of multiple layers of walls and defenses. Next in the list is the Gothic type castle. Gothic type castle. This type of castle was built mostly between 14th and 16th century in Western Europe mostly. The structure is more elaborate and has decorative designs featuring pointed arches, large windows, and ornate towers. This was a design or a type that combined defense with luxury for noble families. Example: Karlsruhe Castle in Czech Republic, Karlstein Castle, or later the Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany. The advantages: these are the most comfortable castle ever built, combining strong defense with luxury. Mostly they have tall towers, providing excellent views of the surrounding area. Disadvantages: the large windows seems to be a disadvantage, and decorative elements made them more vulnerable to attacks. These were the most expensive castle to maintain and repair. These were built mostly for comfort and luxury and less for military purposes. Alright, the seventh one is the cliffside or castle on the rock. Various periods, so these were built from 10th centuries until 16th or 17th centuries. Cliff-sized castle on the rock. This structure, built on rocky outcrops for natural defense. This is a big defense, natural defense. These were near impenetrable strongholds with natural advantage. Stronghold. Example, the Montségur Castle in France. Alright, let's start to unveil some advantages. First advantages, extremely difficult to attack. Difficult to attack. Difficult to attack. Due to their elevated positions on cliffs, mountains, or hills. Natural rock formations reduce the need of extensive fortifications, somehow cheaper to build than the others. Often had excellent strategic visibility of the surrounding areas. This seems to be the perfect way to build a castle in medieval ages. Well, not yes, but as well there were some disadvantages. The main disadvantage is because due to the natural conditions on elevated cliffs or rocks, it was difficult to supply. So, difficult to supply with food and water. Well, they have limited space and very hard for expansion or comfort. So hard to expand. Hard to expand. Due to the limited natural conditions. And it was harder to access even for its inhabitants. These castles were used mostly as a last resort in an invasion or in a siege. Mostly as the last resorts, defense resorts. Next and the last one, the water castle, was their castle design. Mostly between 13th and 16th century. The structure is completely surrounded by water, making it harder to be penetrated by the attacking armies and offering a natural defense bonus. Well, the water could be moats, lakes or rivers. These will enhance defense by restricting access in just a few points. Example, Chateau de Chenonceau in France. Alright, and now the advantages. The advantages. Water barrier. So, water barrier. Excellent for defense and less prone, making the fortress less prone to assault. They could use water as supply for drinking and fishing during a siege. Often aesthetically pleasing and symbolic of wealth and power. And their disadvantage, required extensive maintenance to prevent water damage. So extensive maintenance. If the water supply was cut off or frozen, it could weaken the defense. So during winter times, this was prone to be assaulted more easily if the water was frozen. Prone to damp conditions, making them less comfortable for term residents. Well, try to imagine what is living in such a fortress in the summer in a hot area, and try to imagine how many billions of mosquitoes will swarm around due to the water. Alright, well, now, this was one of my favorite history lessons. Well, history combined with engineering and, well, what can I say, and architecture. Now we know more about how the castles were built in medieval times in Europe. These marvelous structures are very impressive even today in modern times. And of course, each castle that we visit today has its own legends, tales, and history. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I wish you all the best. Bye bye. Sorry, that's my first. This one is the perfect one. Sorry, and so on. There is no comment. There's no comment. Das mi comment this one. Das my desk. This one is not and so on. That's the California West commentation. Right, so hi and welcome. Welcome again. Welcome again for a fresh dose of ASMR. Alright, now, topic for today. Every US state has at least one name that stands above the rest. Yes, and today we're counting down the most famous persons from every US state. Actors, musicians, presidents, legends, sportsmen. Let's see who made history, who shaped culture, and maybe who surprised you. So this is the most famous people by every US state. Here is a curated list of one of the most famous individuals representing each US state based on preeminence, public cultural impact, recognition in multiple reputable sources. And let's start. Well, first, let's start with California. Let's start first with California. And in California, based on the latest stats, the most famous peoples, there are two: Leonardo DiCaprio, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian. So, a film star? Well, that's obviously, and a global media personality, Kim Kardashian. So Leonardo DiCaprio and Kim Kardashian for California. see, let's pick up Arkansas. Arkansas. Well, for Arkansas, there are two. One is Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash. And the music legend and Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob Thornton. The Oscar-winning actor. So Johnny Cash and Billy Bob Thornton. Good. Arizona. Well, for Arizona, there is one that is considered the most famous figure, personality is Emma Stone. Emma Stone. Emma Stone. Oscar winner. Raised in Scottsdale. So that's Alaska. For Alaska, there are again two persons. Javel, the singer, and Irene Bedard. Irene Bedard, composer or voice of Disney. So, Javel and Irene Bedard. Let's take Alabama. Where in Alabama the most famous figures. One is an actor from 21 Jump Street, Channing Tatum. And a singer, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton. So, for Alabama we have an actor, Channing Tatum, and a singer, Dolly Parton, which is as well a philanthropist. So, let's go to Connecticut. Next. In Connecticut, there is just one, Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane, creator of the Family Guy, multi-talented entertainer. Also, we are here in the area, Delaware. Let's see in Delaware. Well, in Delaware we have two. One is a former U.S. President, Joe Biden, nicknamed the Sleepy Joe. And second one is Aubrey Plaza, which is an actress from Wilmington. Aubrey Plaza. So, Delaware. Colorado next. Colorado. Well, for Colorado, we have just one, Tim Allen. Tim Allen, actor and comedian from Denver, known for Home Improvement. Colorado, Tim Allen. So come on, Georgia next. Georgia, and for Georgia, there are two. One is an actress, and second one is a civil rights leader. You guessed it. First is Julia Roberts, and the second one is Martin Luther King Jr. MLK Jr., the famous iconic civil rights leader. So let's look at this. Florida, we are nearby. Florida has has two singers. One is Pitbull. This is a scene name, Pitbull. And Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison. The singer of the Doors. And Pitbull. Okay, Hawaii. Hawaii. There are two. One is a singer, Bette Midler. And the second one is an actress, Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman and Bette Midler. So, good percent. So, Iowa next. Iowa. Well, in Iowa, there are two. John Wayne, the famous John Wayne, classic movie star, and another movie star which is contemporary actor, Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher. So for Iowa, Illinois is nearby. Illinois, so the most famous figures for Illinois. Betty White. Betty White. TV legend. And the second one and only Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford. Well, I can say Harrison Ford is more like an actor, is the galactical Star Wars actor. Harrison Ford. Well, I liked him very much how he played in Star Wars. Harrison Ford and Betty White. Good Indiana, Indiana. Indiana. Well, Indiana is famous for Michael Jackson. Jackson. Michael Jackson, the legendary musicians, one of the greatest, in my opinion. And James Dean. James. The iconic cinematic actor, James Dean. So, como está? Idaho, there is one. Aaron Paul. Emmy-winning actor from Breaking Bad. Aaron Paul. Idaho, so is the greatest. Indiana, well, so this is Iowa. So, Kansas next. Kansas. In Kansas, we have one of the most, as a famous figure, Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper, actor and director, famous for Rebel Without a Cause. Maine, next one in Maine, there is Stephen King. Stephen King, the horror novelist, and Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick. pitch perfect star. Louisiana. Well, for Louisiana, there are two again. One is Ellen DeGeneres. The generous talk show host, and Lil Wayne. A Grammy-winning rapper. Lil Wayne. So Kentucky. Well, in Kentucky is the most famous people. Or it's just one. Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. Globally recognized actor. He has close ties with Kentucky. Good. Kansas, we have Kentucky, West Louisiana, Maine. Let's move next. Michigan. Wow, another music legend, Madonna. And the second one is G.K. Simmons, what Oscar-winning actor. G.K. Simmons. It's Michigan. Maryland, because we are here nearby. In Maryland, the most famous figures are Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps, most decorated Olympian, and Babe Ruth. Baseball legend, Babe Ruth. So Michael Phelps and Babe Ruth. Massachusetts. Okay, see where I can write here. Massachusetts. Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg, actor and entrepreneur. And the second one is Matt Damon. Oscar-winning film star. Matt Damon. So, next one, Mississippi. For Mississippi, we have Oprah. Oprah Winfrey, talk show queen. And, of course, Elvis Presley. And Elvis Presley, king of rock and roll. The one and only, or the only one. Elvis Presley. Minnesota. The most famous people. Bob Dylan. Music legend, and Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt, leading man in film and TV. So Bob Dylan and Chris Pratt. Good. So that's Minnesota. Missouri next. Missouri. Well, from Missouri, there is another legend, a rap superstar, Eminem. And the second one is John Goodman, beloved actor, Montana. Next, Michelle Williams. Michelle. Acclaimed film actress, Michelle Williams. Was it? In Nebraska, there is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett. Legendary business icon, investors, and trader, Warren Buffett. So, what is New Hampshire? In New Hampshire, Dan Brown. Global best-selling actor of thriller novels. So, and if we are here, let's check out New Jersey. In New Jersey, in New Jersey, the most famous man is Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen. Iconic rock musicians, and it's global renowned. New Mexico. Well, New Mexico has Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos. Founder of Amazon. He was raised in New Mexico. He has Hungarian origins. Jeff Bezos. Next, New York. New York. Who could be most famous in New York? You guess it. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. In New York. And here again we can put Michael Jackson as well. M. Jackson. So, Mr. Donald Trump and Michael Jackson. North Carolina. Andrew Johnson. Former president, and Michael Jordan. M. Jordan. NBA legend. Michael Jordan and Andrew Johnson. North Carolina. North Dakota. The most famous figure is Wiz Khalifa. Rapper, prominent rapper, Wiz Khalifa, North Dakota. Ohio, LeBron James. LeBron James, NBA superstar, and Simon Biles as elite gymnast. Right, Ohio. Next, Oklahoma. Well, the most famous figures in Oklahoma. There are two. Brad Pitt. Award-winning actor. And Garth Brooks. best-selling country artist, Paul Bruns. Oregon next. Well, for Oregon, the two famous people that we have here, Matt Groening, one, Matt Groening, creator of The Simpsons, the famous Simpsons, and River Phoenix. Actor. So, Matt Groening and River Phoenix. So, this goes. So, good. Let's move to the South Carolina. So for South Carolina, there are two. Well, South Carolina, Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman, actor who portrayed Black Panther, and Chris Rock, the comedian. Chris Rock, the comedian. So, so that's for Pennsylvania. So, but this is for South Carolina. Next is Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania next nearby. No, not nearby, but in the list is Pennsylvania. And from Pennsylvania, the two major figures are Taylor Swift. Pop megastar. And Will Smith, the blockbuster actor. Will Smith. So that's good. South Dakota. Brock Lesnar. Bill Lesnar. Wrestler who turned MMA star, and next is Sean Colvin. Grammy-winning musician. Sean Colvin and stars. Stigma. In Tennessee, we have again Dolly Parton, as in Alabama, Dolly Parton. And Morgan Freeman. The famous actor, Texas. Who might be in Texas? Well, in Texas, the most prominent figures are Beyoncé, global singing phenomenon, and Woody Harrelson. Hollywood actor, renowned one. Utah. Butch Cassidy. Outlaw legend. So here is the notorious Butch Cassidy, outlaw legend. And Roseanne Barr, comedian. Alright, but Vermont. In Vermont is Damon Wayans Jr. Damon Wayans is an comedic actor, Damon Wayans. Virginia. Well, Virginia has George Washington. George Washington. The first president of the United States and revolutionary leader. And second one is Rob Love. Rob Love. Classic film and TV star. So in Virginia. Washington. 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 The most prominent figures are first is Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain. The famous rock star and Dove Cameron. Dove Cameron. Dove Cameron. Modern Disney actor Dove Cameron. So Washington. Good. In Nevada, Nevada next, we have John Huston. John Huston. Classic Hollywood director, John Huston. So, what does we go right? Wyoming. Wyoming next. For Wyoming is Jackson Pollock. Jackson Pollock. Jackson Pollock, renowned abstract painter. And Darren Dalton. Darren Dalton. Actor. So, Darren Dalton and Jackson Pollock. Wisconsin. Wisconsin. So, Wisconsin. Jeffrey Dahmer. Dahmer, which is a notorious serial killer, and William Dafoe, acclaimed character actor William Dafoe. West Virginia has Stevie Harvey. Stevie Harvey and Josh Stewart. Stevie Harvey, popular TV host, and Josh Stewart, film actor. Okay. Wow. So, Delaware, and summer days become stuff. And the last one is Rhode Island. Rhode Island. And for Rhode Island, the famous people are Viola Davis. Viola Davis. Award-winning actress. Viola Davis. And here we have all of them. No, 100 stars maybe, because most of the states have at least 2. And did your favorite make the cut? Or did we miss someone iconic? Well, you're gonna answer that in the comment section below. So drop your comments. I am very eager to find out your opinions. hit the like button if you learned something new. And don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating journeys through history, geography, culture, and fame. See you in the next video. I wish you all the best. Bye bye. Okay, stop. So, alright, so that's more this one is document, this, and so on. Hi, and welcome, guys. Welcome back for another ASMR map tracing with historical facts. With map tracing with historical facts. What I choose for today as a topic is a famous list of medieval kingdoms in Europe that no longer exist, complete with some stats and weird facts about. And we're gonna begin with first the famous kingdom of Burgundy. Well, existed in from 888 until 1032. The kingdom of Burgundy. The regions, it's parts of France, modern France, Switzerland, and Italy, somewhere in this area. Well, this kingdom merged into the Holy Roman Empire. The quirky fact is that today the region of Burgundy is in France and it's very famous for wine and cheese worldwide. But medieval Burgundy was better known for its knights. So, knights. And poets, and that Pinot Noir. Next in the list is Kingdom of Galicia and Volhynia. Well, Galicia, and Volhynia, Alright. The region is somewhere in modern day Ukraine, southeastern Poland, southeast area. Alright. Existed between 1199 and 1349. At its peak, it rivaled with the Grand Duchy of Lithuania in size and power. Well, this kingdom sent envoys to the Pope asking to be recognized as a kingdom and help the Pope to find a royal bride. Or no, they asked the Pope to help them to find a royal bride from Western Europe. All right. Volhynia. Okay, then let's return in the Western Europe. Kingdom of East Francia. Well, it existed in the most modern day Germany, southern Germany, East Francia, somewhere, yeah, from 843 until 962. Born from the Treaty of Verdun, it was one of the three pieces of Charlemagne's empire. East Francia is basically the off-guard teenager phase of the world later Holy Roman Empire. All right. Next is the Duchy of Bohemia. Duchy of Bohemia, somewhere in this area. Duchy of Bohemia. Bohemia. From 870 until 1918. Now is Czech Republic. Was a powerhouse within the Holy Roman Empire. The quirky fact is that Prague's astronomical clock was built during the Bohemian Golden Age. According to the legend, the city blinded its creator to keep the design unique. Oh my god. Bohemia. Modern day Czech Republic. Alright. Next. Novgorod Republic. Novgorod Republic. Somewhere in this area. Existed from 1136 until 1478. Was a merchant republic. Merchant republic. It was rare for its time. The quirky facts, they had an early version of Town Hall of Democracy. Town Hall of Democracy. Peasants literally rang a bell to call a public assembly. Yep. Now, next is the Kingdom of Venice. Kingdom of Venice. Wow, Venice. Yeah, Kingdom of Venice. Existed, so Venice. Existed from 697 until 1797. Lasted over 1,100 years. One of the longest lived political entities in history. Well, Venice Navy was so powerful that they literally controlled almost entire Mediterranean Sea and was the most feared war fleet in this region. All right. Next, in Spain, Kingdom of Leon. Kingdom of Leon. Cementis area. I don't know how accurate. Leon. I think it was much bigger. Leon existed from 910 until 1213. Finally, the Kingdom of Leon merged with the Kingdom of Castile and was the precursor and the founder of Spain. Leon issued the first known written parliamentary rules in Europe. Technically beat England in the whole things by decades. Kingdom of Leon. Next is Kingdom of Asturias. Asturias. As well in northern Spain from 1718 until 924. It was the first Christian kingdom established after the Muslim conquest of Iberia. So, first Christian kingdom. After Muslim conquest in Iberia, the Kingdom of Asturias was founded by a Visigothic noble who escaped into the mountains. Think about that. Grand Duchy of Lithuania. Well, this area. Duchy, Lithuania, existed from 1236 until 1795. While region, it stretched from the Baltic Sea to almost to the Black Sea. Entire this area. At one point, it was the largest country in Europe, but was reshaped in medieval times many times, so it changes its border size. The quirky fact is the pagans, until the late 14th century, they were the last major European state to be converted to Christianity. So, converted to Christianity. Okay, and now in the Middle East, Antioch, Principality of Antioch. Modern day Turkey and Syria. This area. From 1098 until 1268. One of the Crusade states, established during the First Crusade. Crusade state. Crusade state. Its princesses often barely spoke the local languages and ruled a mix of Latin, Greeks, and Christians languages. Wow, well, sounds like a multicultural chaos. And now we're gonna move in the northern England and southeastern Scotland. kingdom of Northumbria. Northumbria. Somewhere here. From 654 until 954. Only this area. Formed by uniting Bernicia and Deira. Northumbria monks created the Lindisfarne Gospels. Lindisfarne Gospels, some of the most beautiful illuminated manuscripts ever. Right before the Vikings showed up and ruined everything in the area. Okay, now we're gonna go into modern day Italy, but there was a kingdom here, a duchy of Amalfi, in this area. Amalfi, which existed from 839 until 1137. Tiny but a major maritime power. It's like Italy's mini Venice. Amalfi merchants were so good that they basically introduced Arabic numerals to Europe. Yes, the 1, 2, 3 systems came through this beach town. Well, thanks for them. Now we are using Arabic numbers. The next, it's Duchy of Brittany. Brittany. Well, it was somewhere in northwestern France. So, Duchy of Brittany. Brittany. Brittany from 934 until 1547. Ethnically distinct Celtic-speaking region with its own dukes and identity. Brittany kept its own language, Breton, and flag, and today locals still tread like a mini nations. Yeah, Breton language. Finally, in 1547, merged with France, but it was part of England. Good. Well, this is our map looking after our historical trace of medieval kingdoms. Let's say medieval, but some of them were spanned a long time over the medieval period in the modern era that were famous, but they're vanished through times. Most of them laid some deep cultural roots in their areas where existed, and some of the regions like Burgundy, Asturias, Leon, and Brittany, they're still existing today, but they're parts of new republics, the European states. I hope you enjoy this ASMR with quirky medieval facts. Thank you for watching, and until next time. Hi there. Tonight we'll be exploring the vast and beautiful United States, from the oil of Texas to the gold mines of Nevada, to the soft cooling clay of Georgia. We will trace each state slowly and softly. I'm gonna whisper what its most richest natural resources in every. This is a calming educational ASMR session designed to help you relax, unwind, and learn something new about this topic. Alright, let's start in alphabetical order. And for Alabama, which is the first in our list, the most richest natural resources are coal, and limestone. It's a major supplier of coal and industrial minerals, Alabama. Next one is Alaska. Well, in Alaska, oil is the most abundant natural resource. After that, natural gas and gold. Alaska is home to the massive oil fields, Prudhoe Bay, a major gold mining site. Arizona is next in the list. And what is abundant in Arizona? Well, copper. Copper, well, is the first U.S. copper producer, Morenci Mine. Right, so first U.S. copper producer, Arizona. Next, Arkansas. What is the most richest natural resources found in Arkansas? Bauxite. And bromine. Leading bromine producer and some historic bauxite deposits. Arkansas. California. Well, in California, the most richest natural resources are oil, solar energy, and rare earth minerals. California is a leader in oil reserves and renewable energy. California. Colorado next. Well, for Colorado we have oil, gas, and molybdenum. Well, Colorado is a significant energy and metal resources deposit in U.S. Good, Mr. Now let's move to the East Coast. Connecticut right here. Granite. And crushed stone. Important for construction materials. Granite and crushed stones. Connecticut. Delaware. Well, Delaware is rich in sand and gravel, sand and gravel, used mostly for building and constructions. Delaware. Okay, next is Florida. Florida is rich in phosphate, and limestone. Phosphate and limestone. Florida, it seems to be a leading phosphate producer. Phosphate. Good. Georgia. Georgia is leading in kaolin, clay, and granite. Georgia is a global leader in kaolin clay production. Georgia. Alright, next one, Hawaii. Well, Hawaii is rich in geothermal energy. Geothermal energy. Volcanic geothermal potential. Hawaii. Idaho next. Well, Idaho is rich in silver and phosphate. Well, major silver mining state, Idaho. Next, Illinois. Well, the most richest natural resources in Illinois, coal and oil. Coal and oil, part of the Illinois basin of coal fields. Indiana next. Indiana is rich in coal and limestone. Indiana. Wow. So, Iowa. Well, Iowa has fertile soil and corn. Let's take in account corn and fertile soil, so it's very good for agriculture. And Iowa is an agriculture powerhouse with a nutrient-rich land. Good. Kansas. Well, abundant in Kansas are oil and gas, natural gas. Long-standing oil and gas state, Kansas. Good. Kentucky is a major producer of coal. Historic heart of Appalachian coal production. Right, so Louisiana next in the list. Let's find out the most richest natural resources. Gas, one, and oil. offshore drilling hub, Louisiana, Louisiana. Maine, next. Maine, Maine. The state of Maine is rich in timber, timber, timber and granite, granite. So, Maryland, Maryland. Well, Maryland is abundant in crushed stone and gold, crushed stone and gold, gold and crushed stone. Limited but active quarries as well. So, Massachusetts, Massachusetts. Well, Massachusetts is rich in seafood, marine, and sand and gravel, sand and gravel, sand and gravel. Coastal state with marine resources. Michigan, next in the list. Michigan is rich in iron ore, copper, and natural gas. Home of the historic Iron Range. Iron Range. Minnesota, next. Minnesota. Minnesota is rich in iron ore. Iron ore. Major supplier of steel making. Iron. So good, Minnesota. Next in the list, Mississippi. Mississippi. Well, Mississippi is rich in timber and gas, natural gas, of course. Gas and timber. Forest rich with high gas reserves. Missouri next. Missouri is rich in timber and gas. Timber and gas. Right. So. No. And lead. Lead. And lead is a top lead production state. Timber, lead, and gas. Missouri. Right, so it's Montana. Montana. Montana is rich in coal, copper, and gold. Gold. Rich mineral and fossil fuel base, Montana. Montana. Good. Nebraska next. Nebraska. Nebraska is rich in groundwater and fertile soil. Fertile soil. And water. Groundwater. Ground. Well, Nebraska. Nebraska. A prime farmland. Nebraska. Next one is Nevada. Nevada. So Nevada is rich in gold, mostly in lithium. Lithium. U.S. producer #1 of lithium. Nevada. Good. So, New Hampshire. New Hampshire. granite and sand. Granite and sand. The Granite State. New Hampshire. New Jersey next. New Jersey. So New Jersey is rich in sand, gravel and stone. It has a limited minerals but active in construction use, of course. Next one is New York. New York. Well, New York State is rich in salt and crushed stone. New York has major salt deposits. New York. New Mexico. New Mexico. New Mexico. New Mexico is rich in potash, oil, and natural gas. Largest potash reserves, New Mexico. Right, North Carolina. North Carolina. So North Carolina. Let's find out in which mineral is the most richest. North Carolina in lithium and feldspar. Feldspar and lithium, major lithium resource producer. Lithium used mostly for batteries manufacture. So, North Dakota. North Dakota is rich in oil. Among the top U.S. oil producer state, North Dakota. Ohio. Ohio is rich in coal and gas, natural gas. Active energy producer. Ohio. Oklahoma next. So, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is rich in oil and natural gas. Oklahoma is a traditional rich energy state. Oklahoma. Good. Next, Oregon. Well, Oregon has timber. And geothermal springs. Or geothermal water. Dense forest and renewable energy. Oregon. Pennsylvania next. Pennsylvania is rich in gas, natural gas, one of the top U.S. gas producers, Pennsylvania. Rhode Island. Rhode Island has mostly marine resources and some granite deposits. South Carolina is rich in choline and granite. clay and rock extraction, kaolin and granite. South Dakota. Wow, South Dakota is rich in gold. Gold. Home to the famous Homestake Gold Mine. Homestake Gold Mine. Tennessee. 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 Tennessee is rich in zinc and crushed stone. Is a leading zinc producer in U.S. Good. Next one is Texas. Okay. Texas is a leading state in oil production and natural gas production or extraction. Is number one U.S. energy state. Texas, Texas. Utah, Utah next. Uranium, copper, and potash. Minerals and iron energy mix in Utah. Utah. Good. Let's go to Vermont. Well, Vermont is rich in marble. Marble, slate, and granite. Granite, high quality decorative stone, marble, slate, and granite. So, Virginia. Virginia. Virginia has coal and limestone. Limestone, active coal mining, coal. Washington. Well, the most richest natural resources in Washington are timber and hydroelectric power. Washington is a major forestry and energy production state. Washington. West Virginia. West Virginia, right here. West Virginia has coal and gas. Key part of the U.S. coal economy. So, just my question. Good. Next one, Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin is rich in sand and limestone. Well, frac sand is crucial for oil fracking. Right, Wisconsin. And Wyoming. The last one in our list is Wyoming, which is rich in uranium, coal, and trona. Leading U.S. coal and soda ash producer, Wyoming. Well, and that brings us to the end. All 50 states, each with something special beneath their soil or under their skies. I need to thank you for joining me, for listening, and for relaxing. If you enjoy this calm journey, please consider subscribing if you aren't yet, and liking the video as well. And let me know which state surprised you the most. Use the comment section below. Until next time, rest well, good night, and I wish you all the best. Bye bye. So, come on, stand right on my door, right as you go, and as Hey, hello, and welcome. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie behind the names of nations, European nations? Because every country in Europe carries a name, whispered through centuries. Tribes, empires, legends, gods, each left a trace in the words we speak today. I'm your guide on this quiet journey, so dim the lines and let's explore how every European country got its name. Well, we're gonna start with United Kingdom first. Why is United Kingdom? Well, United Kingdom it's named United Kingdom because it's unified realm of the Britons. Britain from Britannia, the painted ones. So, Britons. Unified realm of the Britons. Ireland, for example. Well, name Ireland from what is the etymology? From Eriu. 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 An old goddess, possibly meaning abundant land. Abundant land. How about France? Well, France is named after Franks. Franks. Franks, whose names might mean free man. Free man. Franks. Well, the etymology of Belgium is from België. België, which were some ancient tribes of mixed origin who settled in these lands. How about Netherlands? Well, Netherlands means lowlands. Lowlands, from Dutch nether, low, plus land. Nether, low, plus land. Netherlands. Well, Luxembourg. Luxembourg, the small duchy. The name came from Luxembourg, which means a little fortress in Old High German. Old High German. Luxembourg. But Monaco, for example, the Principate. Well, the name Monaco came from Greek monoikos. Monoikos, which means single house, tied to Heracles, to Heracle, single house. Alright, well, in the north, Denmark, the etymology of Denmark is border regions of the Danes, and then mean flatland. Dan mean flatland, border region of the Danes. Norway, for example, is from Norroway. language in Old Norse language is Northern Way and is no, ro, nora, väcker. The Northern Way. Sweden nearby is from Swipshaw, Swipshaw, Swip, Shaw, Shaw. People of the Swedes, Sweden, Swipshaw. Well, there is a question mark in Finland's etymology, name etymology, possibly from Finr, 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 meaning wanderer, native name Suomi, of unclear origin, Finr. Well, Iceland is obviously that can be translated directly land of ice. So, land of ice. Named for its glaciers and volcanoes. Alright, so in Iberian Peninsula, Southern Europe. How about Portugal? The etymology of the Portugal name, which is from Portuscale. Portuscale. An ancient port city near modern Porto. Porto, here in the north, Portuscale. Spain. The name Spain came from Hispania. Hispania. Well, in translation in Phoenician it's the land of rabbits. Hispania, Phoenician land of rabbits. Okay. And Italy, there are two possibilities. Italy from Italia and from Vitellia, the land of young cattle, Vitellia. Greece, well, the Greece name came from Latin Graecia, Graecia. After a tribes, Greeks call it Hellas. Okay. Now in Central Europe, Germany. Germany name came from Latin Germania. Tribes beyond the Rhine. Germans call it Deutschland, land of the people. Deutschland, land of the people. Austria nearby. Well, Austria name is originating from Ostariki. Riki. Eastern realm in Old High German language, Ostariki, which is Österreich, or derived from the east, Österreich. Switzerland. The Switzerland name comes from Schweiz. One of its original cantons, which may mean clearing. I'm not sure. Schweiz. occupies the small state of Liechtenstein, which means light stone, named after its ruling noble family. Light stone, Liechtenstein. The name Poland. Poland etymology is from Polanie. Polanie. Well, people of the fields. People of the fields. Okay, Czech Republic or Czechia. The name came from Czechs. Czechs, possibly from Slovak, human or Czechati, weight. Czechs. Slovakia, the land of Slovaks. Slovene means Slavic people. Slovakia, Slovaks. Hungary. Well, Hungary name came from Hungaria. Hungaria. Locals call it Magyarország, land of the Magyars. Hungaria, which means the land of the Huns. Hungaria. We arrived in Romania. Well, Romania name came from the land of the Romans. Land of Romans. From Latin, Romanus. Romanus, land of the Romans, Romania. Bulgaria. Bulgaria name came from Bulgars. 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 Turkic origin. Name might be mixed or rebel. I don't know. I'm not sure. The name Moldova is after the Moldova River. Moldova River, possibly from Slavic root or Germanic root. Moldova River. Ukraine. The name came from Ukraina. Ukraina. Which means in Slavic borderland. Borderland. Ukraine, borderland. Belarus, the name etymology is from White Rus. White Rus. White may signify freedom, West or nobility. White Rus. Right. And Russia, the name came from Rus. Rus. Norse traders, settlers, likely from the roots rowers. Russia. Serbia name is from Serbi. Serbi. Serbi possibly meaning guard, to guard or kin. Serbi. Montenegro. Well, Montenegro is a Venetian name for Black Mountain. Montenegro. Montenegro. Right. Next is Bosnia and Herzegovina. Well, Bosnia is from Bosnia. Herzegovina from the Herceg Duke. Herceg Duke. Croatia name or origins from Hrvat. 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 The etymology of the Croats. Hrvats. Slovenia, it's translated, or the regions of Slovenia. Etymology are the land of Slavs, or Sloveni, Sloveni, the Slav land. Good. Next is Albania. The origin of the name Albania is from ancient Albanoid tribe. Albanoid tribe. Locals call it Shkiperi, land of the eagles, Shkiperi, or Shkiperi. Well, here is Kosovo. The Kosovo origins, or the name, came from Slavic Kos, which means blackbird, and Kosovo Polje, the field of blackbirds. Estonia. Estonia, name possibly from the IST. IST people, mentioned by Tacitus. IST. Latvia, well, from the ancient Latgalians, a Baltic tribes. Latgalians. And Lithuania, possibly from Liver, Lietava. But the origins are uncertain, so I put a question mark nearby. Alright, and now some microstates left. First, it's Andorra. Andorra, possibly, the origin of the name is from Basque, Andurial. Andurial means shrubland, or Arabic Andurra, the pearl, Andurra. So there are two question marks here, possibly from Basque Andurial or from Arabic Andurra. Good. San Marino. Well, San Marino is named after Sant Marinus, a stonesman who founded the state in 301 AD. Saint Marinus. Saint Marinus. Well, and Vatican City, the etymology came from Mons Vaticanus, an ancient Roman hill, possibly Etruscan origin. Mons Vaticanus. Mons Vaticanus. Alright. So, and here you have it. 44 names, 44 stories. Echoes of language, myth and memory. If you enjoy this etymology, whispered etymology, hit the like button or the subscribe button at your choice. And if you subscribe, you will get more soft-spoken and whispered journeys through geography, history, and general knowledge. And by the way, now, because we are at the end, tell me which name surprised you the most. Leave comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and above all, I wish you all the best. Bye bye. Sorry. the right song comes to start right and go Ukraine and United Kingdom here. Hi, hello, welcome back for another daily dose of ASMR. This time it's a combination of maps and facts and with some political highlights, cultural highlights, and social highlights because we're gonna talk about why Europe is the best place to live. To live. And let's talk about some arguments that sustain this affirmation. Well, Europe is often considered one of the best continents to live for a variety of reasons. High quality life, rich cultural heritage, social policies, and so on. We're gonna start with the quality of life. And Europe is renowned for its quality of life. For example, healthcare. Most European countries often offer universal healthcare, with countries like France, for example, Netherlands, Switzerland, and Germany, often ranking highly for their healthcare system. For example, Switzerland here is ranked as having one of the highest quality healthcare system in the world, according to the World Health Organization. Life expectancy, another point of quality of life. Europeans enjoy some of the highest life expectancy in the world. Again, Switzerland ranked first, 85 years life expectancy, and Spain has 83.6 years life expectancy. So, life expectancy. And Switzerland and Spain have top of the life expectancy around Europe. And this is due to the high quality of life in these two countries. Another major counter or subject is safety and low crime rate. Safety. Many European countries have very low crime rates, especially violent crime, mostly. And one of the examples is, with the lowest is Iceland. Lowest crime rate is often the safest country in the world, according to the Global Peace Index. Good. Now, another chapter is social benefits and welfare system. European social system provides extensive support for citizens, social security and unemployment benefits. Countries like Denmark, for example, and Germany and Sweden offer strong unemployment insurance, so social security. Yeah. Denmark, Germany, and Sweden offer the most benefits. For example, Sweden's welfare state offers paid parental leave, extensive child care, and elder care, contributing to work-life balance. So, very important social security. Work-life balance. European countries tend to prioritize work-life balance. So, work-life balance. With shorter working hours, longer vacation, and strong labor protection. Well, we have the standard 8-hour work schedule per day, but some countries are experimenting now the 6-hour workday, and in some areas is more profitable, like in Germany, Belgium, and Netherlands. So, France, for example, has 35 hours work week. 35 hours week. And mandates at least 5 weeks of paid vacation annually. And now the education, which is another major important highlight. Europe is home to the some of the best educational systems. Higher education, for example, Europe has some of the world's most prestigious universities, like Oxford and Cambridge. Oxford and Cambridge in United Kingdom, and ETH in Zurich, Switzerland. ETH and LMU in Munich, Germany. Some stats. Countries like Finland consistently ranked as having one of the best education systems. So, education system. Again, Germany is in the top. Germany offer free or low-cost higher education for both domestic and international students. Another country that offers free or low-cost higher education is France. And as well, Romania offers free higher education system for its citizens and very low costs for citizens from Europe, around Europe. Most countries provide free or affordable education for primary school. Now, the economic stability, one of the most important topics or subjects. Europe has one of the largest and most diverse economies with various job opportunities. GDP per capita, European countries. So let's note here GDP per capita. Well, European countries, especially Western ones, enjoy higher GDP per capita. Countries like Luxembourg, so GDP, countries like Luxembourg, Switzerland, and Norway have some of the highest GDP per capita rates in the world. Luxembourg has a GDP per capita higher than United States and Japan combined. Strong job markets. Strong job markets. Europe's job market is diverse, with opportunities in tech, finance, manufacturing and services. Countries like Austria, Germany and Italy have a strong job market for skilled labor. For example, the German manufacturing industry is known for its technological innovations. And stability is making a leading exporter globally. Cultural and historical richness. Europe has wealth and history, culture, and natural beauty. Europe is made up of diverse countries with a wide variety of cultures, languages, and traditions. Example, Italy, which is renowned for its rich cultural history. So, cultural history. Italy, renowned for its rich cultural history, cuisine and art and architecture. Spain offers vibrant lifestyle with festivals like the Madina and the running of bulls. Greece offers a lot of cultural history in terms of archaeology and mythology, and France as well in rich cultural history in art and fashion. Access to nature. Europe offers incredible natural landscape from the Swiss Alps and to the Norwegian fjords. And back then to the Mediterranean coast, which enhance the quality of life by offering recreation and relaxation. Next chapter is sustainability and green initiatives. Europe is a leader in environmental sustainability, with many countries taking aggressive steps toward reducing carbon emissions. Renewable energy. Many countries are at the front of renewable energy movement, with nations like Denmark, Netherlands, and Germany producing significant amounts. Denmark generates 50% of its energy from wind energy. So 50% of Denmark energy is produced by wind power plants. The European Union is focused on aiming to become the first carbon neutral continent by 2050. Initiatives like the Green Deal. Travel and connectivity. Europe has an excellent transportation infrastructure, making it very easy within to travel into the continent and beyond, and is known for its well-developed, affordable public transport, particularly in cities like Paris, Amsterdam, and Berlin. Example, Switzerland. connects even remote areas within the main cities. Due to the small size of many European countries compared to the others from around the world, and the Schengen area, it's incredibly easy to travel across borders without much hassle because most of the countries are in Schengen Union or Schengen Agreement, which grants the citizens to travel free across the Europe without being controlled at the borders. For example, from Brussels in Belgium, you can easily travel to Paris, Amsterdam, or to Budapest, or even to Bucharest in the eastern part of Europe without being controlled at the borders. And of course, you can do it either by plane or by using other transport means like buses or trains. Political stability. Well, Europe has some of the most stable democratic political system. So, democratic political system. Very important. It's characterized by strong democratic institution, the rule of law, and the protection of human rights. For example, Norway is ranking very high almost every time of one of the most democratic and transparent nation globally. Europe is home of the some most peaceful countries globally, with countries like Finland, Sweden, Norway, and Denmark maintaining a neutral stance in international conflicts, as well as Switzerland. Alright, yeah, forgot about Switzerland because Switzerland has kept its neutrality even in the World War II and makes it now one of the safest countries in the world. Well, now we can have a conclusion. Europe offers an unparalleled combination of quality of life, economic opportunities, cultural richness, safety, and political stability. Well, from healthcare, education to extensive social benefits and rich historical heritage, Europe remains an attractive continent for anyone looking to live and develop in safe and a welcome environment. Alright, this was the session or the lesson for today. And I must recognize that I'm very proud that I am an European citizen.